Because if Trump is our nominee, we will not only lose the presidency again, but we will lose both houses of Congress, and we will lose races up and down the ticket. And this isn't speculation, as you know, Chris. It happened in 18, it happened in 20, it happened in 22, and it happened again in 23. He is political poison up and down the ballot. And so what the death knell is being unwilling to take him on. And if you're unwilling to take him on now, if you eventually get on the stage with him, how are you going to be willing to take him on or able to take him on with any credibility when you've said things like, for some reason, chaos and drama follow him wherever he goes? I mean, it's not for some reason. We know exactly why. Those of us who watch know. It's because he's a liar. He hasn't told the truth to the American people. And that costs you.
Look, that's Republican Chris Christie, former Republican governor of New Jersey, former federal prosecutor, saying that. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Donald Trump is a loser. Fascism relies on the projection of strength and propaganda, spreading that strength where it really doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. He keeps on losing, yet the media wants to hoist him up as being this winner. He's not. Just because he repeats that lie like all of his other lies over and over and over again. You know what, the Fourth Estate? You can do what we do here at the MeidasTouch Network and fact check it and say he is a loser, just like Chris Christie saying there too. And just an evil and despicable person. And this is a great point that Chris Christie makes here. He goes, Donald Trump is someone who makes fun of John McCain. John McCain, who bravely served our country. And you compare that to Donald Trump, Mr. Bone Spurs over there. It's so despicable what the Republican Party has become, that they applaud that. It's not supporting our troops at all. Play the clip.
And he made fun of John McCain. He called John McCain not a war hero. The guy sat for years in the Hanoi Hilton, being tortured. They offered to get him out because his father was an admiral, and he said, I'm not leaving unless all my men leave with me. I don't know what all you call that. I call that a hero. Donald Trump said he wasn't a hero because he got captured. He goes, I like the people who don't get captured. A guy who, by the way, avoided military service because he said he had bad heels. So I don't know what you call this guy, but I'm willing to admit I made a mistake supporting him. I did. I thought I could help make him a better president. And I couldn't, because he doesn't listen to anybody.
This is an interesting point by Chris Christie. Chris Christie says that he doesn't hate Donald Trump. It's just he doesn't believe Donald Trump's fit to be president. Here, play this clip.
And let me make it clear, I don't hate Donald Trump. I just don't believe he's fit to be president of the United States. And so, there's a big difference between that. There's no personal hatred on my part at all.
It's casual. Doesn't it make more sense to just, pick on someone else for a while and then go run in 28?
Well, this is the argument that we had the last time I was on. I think the truth matters, Eric. I really do. I think the truth matters, and I don't think you just do things that are politically expedient. I think you tell the truth to people.
It's interesting. After I did my interview with President Biden, different media kind of picked it up, and they described me and the MeidasTouch Network as an anti-Trump. I'm an anti-Trump host, they said. I'm an anti-Trump network. Look, I am anti-Trump, sure, but that's not how I define the network. I am pro-democracy here. I am anti-everything that Donald Trump represents. His fascism, his bullying, his misogyny, his behavior, his chaos, his attacking different groups here in the marginalized groups here in the country, his criminality. That's what I despise. But first and foremost, I'll tell you what I am for. I am for our democracy. And what I am against is what Donald Trump represents, what this MAGA movement represents, trying to take away the freedoms of Americans and trying to hoist upon our great democracy a dictatorship. That is what I am against. I want to show you this piece right here. This is Chris Christie saying that George Santos is a liar and a thief, and he disagrees with Republican leadership who supported him. Play the clip.
Governor, thanks so much for joining us. I want to first get your reaction to George Santos' expulsion from Congress. What does it say to you that top Republican leadership voted against it?
You're all going to hurt yourself.
Make way.
Well, I disagree with him, and I think it was the right thing to do to expel George Santos. He's a liar and a thief. He needed to be expelled from Congress. He should have never been there in the first place. And so, from my perspective, the 105 Republicans who voted yes did the right thing. And if I were there, that's what I would have done.
And look, Donald Trump has like 3 times as many criminal charges against him as George Santos does, which is one of the reasons why Republican leadership tried to save George Santos from expulsion. The majority of Republicans voted against expelling George Santos after George Santos stole credit cards belonging to Republicans and ran up charges exceeding the limit of what donations are allowed to be made to himself. He stole credit cards of other Republicans, and they were still like, yeah, but we should probably keep him in here. Want to show you this clip of Chris Christie. He says, look, when you subvert the Constitution like Donald Trump and send out deranged posts at 2 a.m. on Thanksgiving, you shouldn't be holding this office. Play this clip.
The only way to catch Donald Trump is to actually go after Donald Trump. And I think I'm the only candidate in this race who's actually doing that. You know, I heard Governor Haley yesterday say, that he's the right president for the right time, and that drama just seems to follow him as if he's an innocent victim in that. Like, when you subvert the Constitution, some drama will ensue. When you try to block a valid election, when you lie to the American people and tell them election was stolen when it wasn't, when you send out a deranged social media post at 2 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving morning, talking about all the people you're thankful that you hate. That's why drama is there, because he creates it. And so for Governor Haley to act as if Donald Trump is some kind of innocent victim is a problem, because she's trying to be everything to everybody, and you can't. And that eventually gets discovered. And, that's why I don't worry necessarily about where the polls stand now.
And finally, Chris Christie makes a good point, which we've been saying here, which is if Donald Trump loses in Iowa and New Hampshire, where I've been saying I think he's vulnerable in at least one or both of those states, the public is going to, again, Chris Christie predicts the Republican Party will recognize finally that this is a loser. We'll see what happens in Iowa and New Hampshire. I thought DeSantis did atrocious in that debate with Governor Newsom, although Republicans in their own alternative reality thought that was, I don't know how you thought that could, DeSantis looked objectively horrible, but we'll see. We'll keep you posted here. Let me play you this clip.
But isn't this a problem for whoever the ultimate nominee is if it's not Trump? To have him on the outside carping, saying it was stolen, maybe running as a third party, dividing the Republican vote. How do you deal with that? I know it's a problem you'd like to have, but isn't this a fundamental problem for Republicans going forward as long as Donald Trump is on the political scene?
I think the public in mass will begin to ignore a 4-time loser like Donald Trump if he loses this set of primaries. He lost in 2018 in the House. He lost in 2020 in the Senate and in the White House. And in 2022, he led us to more losses in the governorships and in the Senate. And if he loses in 2024, he'll be a 4-time loser. I think he'll go back to Mar-a-Lago. He'll continue to carp and moan and complain and say we don't deserve him. Anything that gets him out of this race and keeps him out of the White House is fine by me.
I want to remind everybody, check out the interview I did with President Joe Biden. It's on our YouTube feed. I hope you enjoyed that interview that I did. It was refreshing to talk about our democracy and have a normal conversation. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Have a great day.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.